Welcome to Cage Free Voices Radio Network, an innovative educational entertainment radio show where youth and adults have the opportunity to see themselves even if the world is blind. I'm really excited today because you guys are in for a treat. We have QMV with us and Scott Siddle. QMV is a musical genius on the rise who is sure to take the world by storm with his passion, lyrical content, and convictions. Scott Siddle combines his pastoral background with graphic art to capture moments and unexpressed words through the website and logo design for small businesses to build the kingdom of God. I can't wait to discuss how you so effortlessly, Scott, captured the heart and mind of QMV without communicating with him directly. So, greetings, Scott and QMV. Thank you for being with us today. Say something to the people.
Hey, good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you're at, folks. It's good to be here.
Yeah, hello.
He's so laid back, quick, just like an artist. Yeah, hello.
Yo,
He wants you to hear his deep voice, huh? So let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's start with QMV. I want you to begin talking about who you are and your introduction to hip hop. Where did all of this begin?
Um, well, as you know, I'm an artist. Um, it kind of just began off like inspiration, from listening to other artists that I look up to. Um, I had my cousin, he did music. One of my friends did music, and then I just kind of wanted to do music too, so I just started doing it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much how I became inspired to do it.
Who introduced you to hip hop?
Um, Probably this guy I went to church with. His name is Ike Hill. He's a official artist. He goes on tours and stuff. Um, I feel like he kind of inspired me to start rapping.
Oh yeah. So did he introduce you to like just rap in general or gospel hip hop? Like do you know anything about like cross movement and Lecrae? Like who's your favorite hip hop artist?
Yeah, definitely. Lecrae. I listened to a lot of Lecrae when I was young, and then obviously NF a few years later. And
NF. I love NF. And I think like Lecrae used to you feel free to chime in, Scott, because I know you
yeah,
like but Lecrae, I started off with cross movement, just loving cross movement because I didn't know that there was like gospel hip hop music out there. And so I was pretty much starving for hip hop music as a Christian. And then some of my friends at Virginia Tech introduced me to cross movement. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is awesome to be able to put the Bible in lyrical content and form. And so I transitioned from like listening to cross movement only to listening to Reach. Well, it wasn't Reach Records at the time. I think Lecrae was like doing Kids Across America. Anybody familiar with Kids Across America?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he started off with Kids Across America, and I was listening to like After the Music Stops. Y'all remember that album?
yeah,
I think so.
yeah,
So I love that album. And then I was listening to him and I think it's Show Baraka,
oh yeah,
a few other artists, Propaganda. And
Mm.
then years later, I find out about NF. And that was like one of the first things that I noticed about you, QMB, when I met you and you were I asked you to spit some bars because I could tell that you were a rap artist. I was like, he's probably more along the lines of like an F, right? Right. So
yeah.
I can see you going in that direction. I want to shift questioning over to Scott right now, who is with us and who was able to capture your heart with the cover art for your single. Um, so, Scott, is hip hop your preference? When were you introduced to gospel hip hop or just hip hop in general? You two represent two different generations, so I'm interested in hearing your thoughts.
All good questions. And what? I don't I don't look like your typical hip hop guy. I grew up with, with music in my life. My mom would always be playing something, and that was, her music was the 50s and 60s and into the 70s, and so I mean, she'd when it was cleaning day at the house, she'd put on her Johnny Mathis albums and just crank them. I'm like, okay. My first album was actually Kiss Live, and I listened to it on her big old huge, living room record console. And shortly after that, I got my own stereo system for my room. So I mean, I was always hard rock, 70s, 80s rock, and then that's kind of when hip hop, and before that it was blues and Southern gospel, and some of that, and out of, I think, the disco movement came true hip hop, and in the 80s, when I was getting out of high school, the early 80s, you know that's when we had just a plethora of different music. I had friends of mine that were getting into ska. I had friends who were getting into hip hop and rap, all this stuff, and I was still just kind of the headbanger. And but I mean, if you look at my playlist, I've got a little bit of everything. I go back, a little bit. KJ52 was one of my favorites. When I first heard him, I was like, dude, this guy just kills it.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
awesome.
and of course, Toby Mac, is incredible in what he does and what he's brought to everything, and the crossover of the music and everything. So, if you look at my playlists, I've got a little bit of everything from classical to rap to hard rock to everything in between. So, um, yeah,
That's how we bonded, Scott, with the rock front, right?
yeah,
Like music. And my playlist probably looks very much like yours because it is very eclectic.
yeah,
Um, so
yeah.
let's
I think
take
so.
this a step further. Scott, where do you see the intersection of hip hop and the fine arts with ministry? Some are reluctant to embrace
Mm.
this genre of music and even rock as well.
Well, I was thinking about that when I saw that question, in my email, and it was like, you know, right there on the bottom of the screen, it says using performing arts to transform the culture. Music has been a part of any culture for a long time. I was in a men's study the other morning, weekly study, and it came up of music in church, as a matter of fact, and that there's some denominations that don't use musical instruments and they just use their voices. Um, you know, I see it as being able to bridge the gap. Not everybody likes the same kind of music. I found out, I have a friend of mine that told me of a ministry. I think it's in Texas. Um, they've got multi campuses. I think they've got like 5 or 6 different campuses, but they're all within or 2 or 3 block radius of each other.
Mm.
And the uniqueness of that ministry is that each venue, each church gathering has their own music. One of them is hard rock, one of them is classic gospel, one of them is hymns, one of them is, and it's like that's what reaches people, you know.
Mm.
Um, some people in some churches, and some people within the Christian community don't like hip hop, and they're like, that has no place in Christianity. But what about those people that it is reaching? What about those
Mm.
people that QMV is going to reach with his music that some country singer's not going to reach? So I think it's a vital part of our culture, both within the church community and within our community in general.
How do you see that blending with like the fine arts, considering like you're a graphic artist, hip hop and fine arts, like graphic art, even considering like that a lot of content or interactions between people are is now virtual. So do you foresee, like this intersection between the fine arts and hip hop happening virtually? And if so, how?
I think it already has begun. As for me personally, I want to try and put that positive spin onto it. That it's not what some people think it is. You know, it's a I don't want to, the only term that's coming to mind is a tool. It's it's a venue actually to be able to bring people in, because the visual aspect is going to draw them into the, hearing aspect,
Well,
the audio aspect.
I want to get to that too, because it's reminding me of the process of Quint selecting, deciding what he wanted for his cover art. Quint, QMV, do you, I'm used to calling you Quint. I know your stage name is QMV. QMV, do you agree with Scott, like in how like the fine arts comes together with like hip hop music and the importance of using it for the ministry, right? Or just for ministry.
Yeah, totally. I think cover art has a big and like fine arts has a big is a big part of hip hop and music, because I feel like it portrays what the song is about. Yeah.
Why was it so important for you to have like a specific type of cover art for your song?
Well, I want people, like, it kind of like, I feel like it's more creative if you have a cover art that kind of in a way portrays what the song is about in like a creative way. Um, and the cover art was pretty creative the way that it was designed. I liked it.
What do you believe? So talk a little bit about like Scott and QMV. Either one of you can start with this process first. Talk a little bit about what you envisioned what you thought about when, I'll start with you, QMV. What you thought about when you saw the cover. What did it say to you once you received the cover?
Well, once you first sent it to me, and I saw it, I thought it was really cool. And then like I kind of just like looked at it for a little bit, and just I liked how it was like showing like hands coming for like the mind, like kind of like people like attacking your mind and kind of like trying to influence you. That's the way that I perceived it. Like people are like trying to come at you and reach you from different places, that trying to influence you to do different things.
When you so going to Scott now, because I'm going to come back to this question for you, QMV. Scott, what did you think of immediately when you received communication about the song?
Well, it was, you had sent me Battle of the Mind and not a lot else, and I was like, okay. So I just began praying about it. It's like, okay, Lord, what is it? And I didn't know, QMV, what you just said now. And that just really got me, because that's exactly what God impressed on my heart, was the whole messing with our minds stuff that's going on in this generation. It's not just a physical thing. I went back to that little cartoon of the good angel and the bad angel, sitting on your shoulders going, hey, no, you can do this, or no, you better do this, or no, you're going to get away with this. And it took me to James 1:2-8 and 2 Timothy 4:3, essentially that battle within of faith against doubt. No matter what generation, we all have that battle. I think it's a little bit more um, increased and a little bit more to the forefront with the current generation that's coming up. They're facing, people in QMV's generation are facing things that, your generation and my generation haven't had to face, because the influence, that tickling of the ears, but it's the battle between sound doctrine and tickling of the ears and messing with the mind. And the enemy constantly wants to throw that little seed of doubt inside our mind to mess with it and pull us away and have that battle. And so with that, I was just like, okay, Lord, lead me, show me what's going to hit, and it worked. Go figure.
Um, QMV, when you first started writing the lyrics to this song, who did you have in mind as your audience?
As my audience, um, just a lot of people that I knew that I was gonna go to I was on the way to I was gonna go to college in about a month when I wrote that song. So I was like, this is a good message to share with people, new people that I meet, and just other people that I met within my life that have somewhat gone down the wrong road, and I've just watched it slowly happen. So I felt like I kind of made this song for those people, and hopefully they can hear it and be impacted by it.
You're kind of getting to like my next question of like, how are you hoping this song will impact your generation?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that it will like kind of make people think a little bit, and like think about what their life, what purpose their life is, and what things that the Lord would want them to do.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so before we play the song, can you spit a few bars for us?
I guess.
You better do it because I can't. I can go grab my drum and I can beat along with you, but that's about it, brother.
So you can spit a few bars from "Can't Get Close." We want to see you live in that action. You don't have to do a full verse, but we just want to hear a couple of bars.
All right. All of a sudden, I can't remember any of the lyrics. Okay, I'll just do the intro and spit a few bars, I guess.
All right, let's go.
All right. Fighting battles in my mind, the devil's the only one that's my opponent. The struggle is real. Now many know how I feel, cause I never actually show it. To be able to overcome all sin, you gotta have the right motives. Wise men know to maintain a strong mind, you gotta know how to control it. Putting the inside of my life, still trying to figure things out. I know I'm meant for more than most in life, so I take a different route. All I care about is making a difference. I never care to fit in the crowd. No time to waste trying to be great, therefore I can't sit around.
Because I was waiting for the beat to drop, because I know that when the beat drops on the song,
yeah,
as long as I got time, I can't waste it. Hey, I love that. I think that's my favorite verse of the song. Well, guys, here is QMV's "Can't Get Close." I'm going to go ahead and play the song for you guys. Bear with me while I pull it up.
Fighting battles in my mind, the devil's the only one that's my opponent. Struggle is real, now many know how I feel, cause I never actually show it. To be able to overcome all sin, you gotta have the right motives. Wise men know to maintain a strong mind, you gotta know how to control it. Putting the pieces together inside of my life, still trying to figure things out. I know I'm meant for more than most in life, so I take a different route. All I care about is making a difference, I never care to fit in the crowd. No time to waste trying to be great, therefore I can't sit around. Cause as long as I got time, I can't waste it. Ay, I'm on the way up and I'm pretty sure that's safe to say. One's like me about as how to finance and ace of space. But what is my talent worth if I don't use it to make a change? Yeah, demons trying to get close, but I will let them get a hold of me. I'm staying on the right road, can't let the devil take control of me. God's helped me through the most, so I always put him over me. I'll never sell my soul, and I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Demons trying to get close, but I will let them get a hold of me. I'm staying on the right road, can't let the devil take take control of me. God's helped me through the most, so I always put him over me. I'll never sell my soul, and I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Won't let him get a hold of me. Won't let the devil take control of me. Yeah. Always put him over me. For the Lord, my soul. Trying to stay closer to the Lord and stay the farthest away from sin. I promise I'm more hopeless you will be the farther you are away from him. I'm on a mission to go make a difference, and that's the only my state I'm in. And I keep the spirit of armor on me for the battles I face within. Yeah, gotta focus on what matters the most. No time for anything else. Only listen to the Holy Ghost, and I block out the lies the enemy tells. Don't know where I'll be without the one that picked me up every time I struggle to fail. And if you don't like what I'm doing, I don't care. Until I die, I'm being myself. No matter who you are, what you do, what you have, I guarantee you have problems. If you feel alone, outside of your own, I know somebody that can help you to solve them. He's always there anytime you need him. I promise all that you gotta do is call him. He'll make sure you're always protected and helping you up whenever you're falling. Choices you made later on in life impact you drastically. They truly can depict if you live sad or you live happily. The good thing about fighting on your own is you don't have to be. Cause if you follow God, you'll be endured in everlasting peace. See me trying to get close, but I will let him get a hold of me. I'm staying on the right road, can't let the devil take control of me. God's helped me through the most, so I always put him over me. I'll never sell my soul, and I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Demons try to get close, but I will let them get a hold of me. I'm staying on the right road, can't let the devil take control of me. God's helped me through the most, so I always put him over me. I'll never sell my soul, and I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Won't let him get a hold of me. Won't let the devil take control of me. Always put him over me. For the Lord my soul to keep.
All right, that was QMV with Can't Get Close. Let's add him back into the stream. That was QMV with Can't Get Close. So before we close out everything, I want to give you both a shot at this one. Tell me what makes you cage free. Either one of you can go.
All right. I guess I'll go first. I'd say obviously the Lord, and his purpose for me is what makes me free.
And what do you believe is your purpose?
Regardless of what I do, obviously I do music, but just to be able to reach other people and impact others in any way possible. I feel like that's what I was put on this earth for.
That's good, Kiwi. Scott?
Yeah, that's really good. Plus, he's got a heritage of people doing the same thing. Your family, you're like living out a legacy, man, just in a different stream. So, I mean, as far as cage free goes, it's just, for me, it's really following what the Lord has, not chasing what the world's chasing. We can get so caught up in that of we've got to have, got to do. And it's not about that. It's about stopping and, instead of looking at our screens all the time, God can use us in the parking lot, to reach somebody. God can use us halfway around the world, in places that we never thought we'd be able to go. And it's just being available, putting aside the stuff, my wife and Idina, we've been working at trying to minimalize, what we have and realize we don't need, as much space as what we think we need. you know, and when you think about that, it's like, okay, if you're going to bring your space down, that maybe that's enclosing you, but it's actually going to be giving us more freedom to move about, more freedom to be involved in different ministries, more freedom to help others. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for being open to God, I wouldn't have, you know, I wouldn't even have this, you know, connection with QMV right now, you know, and I'm really looking forward to what God's going to do through his life. So, and his music and everything. So being available, that's being cage free. That's the door being open and spreading the wings. So
That's an excellent segue into availability, right? QMV, talk to us about where your single is made available now, where people can get it.
Pretty much on all platforms. You can type it in anywhere, pop up. You know, obviously the big platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Tidal. There's all sorts of platforms. TikTok, obviously. And yeah, it's just you can check it out.
Awesome. So, guys, make sure you get the single "Can't Get Close." It is available everywhere. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode on using performing arts to transform the culture. If you would like to find out more about QMV, follow him on social media at QMV on YouTube. And then I believe it is _.QMV._. Oh, and don't forget to reach out to Scott Siddle if you would like to have someone capture the essence of your mind and heart for web development and logo design. Stay tuned for the next episode. And if you liked what you heard and would like your children to be involved in Cage Free Voices online learning, feel free to reach us at cfbonlinelearning.com. All right, guys, remember to see yourselves even if the world is blind. Reflect, connect, and transcend every internal and external barrier that will try to cage your voice. Remember, be cage free. Have a good one.